He never expected a joke to change his life. When the Navy unit decided to set up single dad Sergeant Mark Daniels on a blind date, just for laughs, they thought it'd be harmless fun, a bit of entertainment after months of grueling missions. But that one evening, what began as a prank ended with an admiral standing up, voice trembling, saying words that brought tears to every eye in the room. Mark Daniels was the kind of man who didn't talk much about himself. A quiet strength wrapped in calloused hands and tired eyes. He worked hard, served harder, and loved his daughter with a heart that never ran out of room for her laughter. Since losing his wife during childbirth 7 years ago, Mark's life revolved around little Emma, the bright, curious girl who called him her hero. The Navy was his second family, but even they noticed the loneliness that sometimes lingered in his smile. It started one Friday evening. The unit's morale was low, the missions had been tough, and the men were itching for something lighthearted. So, Petty Officer Lewis, known for his mischievous ideas, came up with one. Let's set up Sergeant Daniels on a blind date. You know, just a fun one. We all chip in, make it fancy, tell him it's a formal dinner. He deserves a laugh. The others agreed, thinking it'd be harmless. They booked a restaurant, found a volunteer, a kind woman named Claire who worked at the Naval Hospital, and told Mark it was a mandatory officers' dinner with some new personnel. Mark showed up early, wearing his best uniform, medals polished, shoes shining. He hadn't been on a date in years, and honestly, he thought this dinner might even help him make some professional connections. But when he entered the candle-lit restaurant and saw a single table with one woman waiting, he froze. Claire smiled warmly. You must be Mark, she said gently. I think your friends set us up. At first, he wanted to leave. The idea of being someone's punchline twisted something deep inside him. But Claire's smile, genuine and patient, made him pause. I guess I could stay for dinner, he said quietly, taking a seat. As the evening unfolded, something unexpected happened. Claire wasn't laughing at him. She listened when he talked about Emma, about the struggles of being a single dad in the Navy, about missing bedtime stories and soccer games. She told him she'd lost her brother in service, that she understood the ache of sacrifice. Two souls, scarred but kind, found comfort in shared silence and small laughter. Outside, a few of his unit members watched through the restaurant window, laughing at first, until they saw the way Mark's face softened. The man who never smiled during briefings was smiling now. Their laughter faded into guilt. The next morning, rumors spread. Some joked, others apologized, but Mark stayed quiet. He didn't want pity, nor did he want to be the center of gossip. Until a week later, during the base's monthly assembly, when Admiral Peterson, a stern but respected leader, called his name. Sergeant Mark Daniels, the Admiral said, his voice echoing through the hall. Mark stood tall, unsure of what was coming. I've heard what happened last week. Some of our men thought it was funny to set you up for amusement. But I also heard something else. The Admiral's gaze softened. They saw how you treated that woman, with respect, with humility, with the same honor you carry into every mission. The hall was silent. The Admiral continued, his tone breaking slightly. When I lost my son in Afghanistan, I thought I'd never see that kind of quiet strength again, the kind that doesn't shout, doesn't seek praise, but carries pain like a badge of courage. You reminded me of him, Sergeant. A hush swept through the room. Even the toughest men lowered their heads. Then, in a voice heavy with emotion, the Admiral said, "You're the kind of man this Navy is proud to call its own. The kind of father every daughter deserves. And from today, I want every officer here to remember, we honor strength, not by mocking it, but by learning from it." Tears welled in Mark's eyes. He wasn't used to recognition, not like this. But when he turned to see his fellow officers standing, clapping, some wiping their faces, he realized the joke had turned into something far deeper. Later that evening, he found Claire waiting by the dock, holding a small paper boat. Emma told me you used to make these with her, she said softly. She wanted me to give you this one. She said it's for when you miss her during deployments. Mark smiled, taking the fragile little boat. She must like you, he said, his voice low. I like her too, Claire replied. And her dad. The waves shimmered under the moonlight as they stood in silence. Sometimes, life's cruelest jokes carry hidden blessings. What started as a prank became a path toward healing, proof that kindness can bloom even from hurt. Months later, Mark introduced Claire to Emma properly. The little girl hugged her immediately, saying, "Daddy, she has your eyes when you smile." And maybe, just maybe, fate knew what it was doing all along. If you felt this story touch your heart, don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe for more true stories of love, sacrifice, and second chances. Because somewhere out there, someone like Mark is still waiting for life's next beautiful surprise, and maybe your share will help them find it.